Sir, you're charged with especially aggravated kidnapping. You're also charged with aggravated assault, and you're charged with theft of a firearm worth less than $2,500.
You're talking about stuff that is not relevant.
Hello and welcome to the Court of Public Opinion. I am the Recovery Addict, and boy do I have a case for you today.
Why is the dog chewing on this guy?
I think they have got the wrong guy
They
there.
got the wrong guy. The dog was biting him.
He roughened him up quite a bit. There's a lawsuit.
9 out of 10 judges prefer watching the Recovery Addict live stream in their courtroom.
The fireworks are not done.
Now we're getting commentary on the case.
Literally not true.
Is
that correct?
I didn't ask you to interrupt me. Oh, for crumb's sake.
Good morning, good morning. Welcome to the Court of Public Opinion. I am the Recovery Addict. Happy Monday to you. It's wonderful to have you all here. I know I'm a tiny bit late. We're going to be jumping to court here in just a second because, well, we might have to jump to the court right now. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. All right, we have to do a couple things. I have no idea who was first in chat. No idea. Sorry, I had all sorts of problems with my cameras this morning, trying to get white balance right. They were just not right. But we're there now. There we go. All right, in court right now. Let's turn the music down just a little bit. In court right now, we have an argument in front of the judge that just started a little bit early here. Over hearsay.
They're non-hearsay. That's what the rules of evidence say. That's what the case law says.
With respect to texts, one of the things that I discussed at during the bench conferences was there a specific text message that, out of many, that the defendant wanted to introduce?
Regina Crawford, congratulations first in the chat. The internet is all yours.
A large portion or a large volume of text messages. I note there wasn't any specific motion in limine relative to the voluminous text messages that are likely to exist. I haven't seen them. They weren't provided to me. Not that they had to be provided to me. But again, I would note that there wasn't a specific motion in limine relative to text messages so that they can be appropriately sanitized and addressed, which is typically what happens when there's a slew of text messages in any case. In modern communication habits, modern technology, modern society, communication, there's a lot of text messages that go on. And my experience is typically if those are going to be highly probative on any issue, they will specifically be brought to the court's attention for purposes of editing and sanitizing what is usually quite a lot of hearsay.
Likes that sanitizing word.
Quite a lot of issues that come up, whether it's in texts or emails, quite frankly. And I note there wasn't a specific motion in limine relative to text messages. And again, I think that the state of the evidence on Friday was that I was allowing defendant to testify about the effect of the text messages on him. So again, is there a specific issue within the scope of that, within the scope of my prior rulings? Is there something specific that defense counsel, one specific text or comment that the defendant is asking me to reconsider at this point in time?
Yes, Judge. As I mentioned on Friday, a specific text that we were seeking to admit, and I'm not seeking to have this entire.
Let me crank the volume a little bit.
Mr. Duren can testify what the texts he received are, and that would be sufficient. So the ones that I think are particularly at issue are the text messages where Mr. Duren asks, "So were you planning to stay with her, or are you staying at our house?" And Ms. Knapsiger responds, "I spent most of my childhood running out the back door barefoot and hiding in the woods. I am not going to trap myself in an unfamiliar place where I am uncomfortable for several consecutive days. No one benefits from someone being debilitatingly anxious." And Mr. Duren responds, "Okay." The second step... So
let's stop right there. So are you seeking to admit that one?
Yes, I'd like to have Mr. Duren testify as to that exchange.
Okay. Attorney Duren.
Your Honor, we understand that defense counsel is standing in front of this court saying that we're not trying to...
Oh, no, don't do that. We need to hear this. This is the good part. You just shut off our audio. Okay, this is what's happening now.
What the basis of her anxiety is, why she would feel trapped. We're not able to get into the relationship with Mr. Duren. in terms of Ms. Knapsager's feelings, but that sure brings some of them up. Your Honor, the exact content of the text message is exactly what defense counsel is trying to get into. They're trying to put that in. Otherwise, the impression that Mr. Duren has from it is sufficient. She wasn't going to stay there, and he has testified to that over the last 3.5 hours.
Okay. As to that specific text message, motion to reconsider as to that specific message denied. Next one.
Yes, Judge, and again, this is a set that I reviewed specifically with the court on Friday.
Yep.
Is it just you and Brenda? Is the question from Mr. Duren. The response is, she'll drop me and Valen. She has to get back to work more, from Ms. Knapsager. And then Mr. Duren says, is she picking you back up then? And Judge, I think we have a fundamental issue here, which is that the content itself is admissible as non-hearsay. Not just the response of like, this is how the text made me feel,
content?
but what the text says is admissible under Gabusi, McPherson, under Plantamuro, and under Rule 801C2. And so it's not just the response, because the response is meaningless without understanding what causes the effect on Mr. Duren.
Okay, with respect to that one, Attorney Duren.
Your Honor, if that's defense counsel's argument, then they're arguing that the response comes in for the truth. They're arguing that the response itself and the content of it is what the jury should consider.
The effect on Mr. Duren.
But what the effect is on Mr. Duren, he has testified to. And the only effect, it's not like it affects him in any way other than based on that text message, he knows that Brenda isn't going to be at the restaurant. He doesn't know what's going to happen at the end. He knows she's dropping Caitlin off. The content of the text message is what defense counsel is trying to get in here. They're attempting to be able to put that conversation in front of this jury and put it in as truth and fact, which is fine, but that makes it hearsay, and there are statements inside of these text messages that are not admissible. And as such, Mr. Duren has, and again, he testified for 3 hours on Friday about the background. We haven't even gotten to the crime that this jury is here to consider, and defense counsel now wants to get back into something that he's already testified to, which is that he knew when he went to the restaurant that Caitlin didn't have a ride, that she was dropped off and left there. It's been testified to. It's very clear this jury already has it. And the state relies on its arguments that were made at the bench and relies on the ruling of the court.
And Judge, as I stated on Friday afternoon at the bench, for statements that are not admitted for their truth, the defense would not object to the limiting instruction, saying these are being admitted not for their truth, but for the effect on Mr. Duren.
And with respect to the statements that you've just indicated relative to that text message, number one, I fail to see the distinction between how they're not being offered for their truth. In other words, I understand the effect upon Mr. Duren. He's testifying about the effect that it's receiving upon him. He's testifying about the scope of his knowledge as it relates to what he's thinking, as it relates to his objective state of mind. In other words, what he's going to do next. And I think he's also testified relative to his subjective state of mind, the effect that it has upon him. And I fail to see the evidentiary value when it seems to me that they are being offered for their truth as it relates to the effect upon what's going to happen during the day compared to the effect that it has upon him as a listener. So it seems to me that they are being offered for their truth. I understand that you're arguing that they're not being offered for their truth, but the truth of the statement is the effect that it has upon the listener under the circumstances.
Judge, let me give an example. If I am in a car accident, if my car is hit by a red car, and I call the police and I say, I just got in a car accident, I just got hit by a blue car, and the police then go and stop a blue car that they feel was involved in the offense. Mm-hmm. My statement, I just got hit by a blue car, is admissible, the statement itself, for its effect on the listener, even though it's not true. So regardless of the truth of the statement itself had an effect on the listener, and that's the reason why it's being admitted. So whether or not, right, this statement would be admissible under its theory, whether Brenda had gone with him or not, her or not, whether or not it was true. It's not about the truth of the statement. The fact that it happens to be correct is irrelevant under this theory of admissibility. It is the fact that that had an effect on Mr. Duren, and he did something, he felt something in response. The same way the police would do something in response to my statement, I got hit by a blue car.
It's about the effect on the listener. It just happens to be
clear,
true.
Your Honor, my
And we're
notes from
admitting
the
for the truth.
testimony indicates that the defendant stated that based on the text conversation, he knew that Brenda was going to drop Caitlin off. That confused him because it was a long drive. So all of this is already there, and none of it is relevant to whether he murdered Miss Nafziger or acted in self-defense.
Okay, with respect to that one, again, right now we're going backwards. With respect to backwards, I will deny any motion reconsideration relative to that specific statement, again, going backwards. Next statement, Attorney Kettles.
Judge, the rest I think is an issue that'll come up
Prospective.
prospectively.
Prospective, okay. And understood relative to prospective as well. But are you satisfied with the argument retrospective?
Yes, Judge.
Okay, all right. Anything further on that?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. Okay, anything further at this point, Attorney Duren?
We sing birthday songs.
Okay. All right. Ready for jury counsel?
Yes, I'll just ask Mr. Duren to retake the stand.
Okay, please.
Right, we're going to sing birthday song really quickly. Everyone stand up, deep breath, shoulders back, project your voice to the back of the room, blend voice with the neighbor, warm up with me, if you will. La 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 la. There we go. We're going to sing happy birthday to all these wonderful people. Happy birthday to you. One verse is going to fit. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to Beryl behind her is Freddie, Cindy, Jackson, Jesse, Todd, Jonathan, KK, Madeline, Shih Tzu Dad, and Zach. Happy birthday to you. I'm sorry. Birthday. Beryl behind Rudy's Ferry, Cindy, Jackson, Jesse, Todd, Jonathan, KK, Madeline, Shih Tzu Dad, and Zach. Happy birthday. I realize there are many wonderful days. Today's your special day. I realize there are many places you can be, a meal people can be with. You chose to be here with us. Privilege, pleasure, our joy is ours. Hopefully we can turn that back to you, make it a little more special. Begin by helping yourself to free pancakes. That means IHOP Village and Waffle House, McDonald's, Tammy Dorm's House, Bob Evans, Andy's Grill, and Cracker Barrel. Whew. I'm sorry, we don't have time for that. We might have to, during the break, we'll try this again. Can you save these, Josh? We'll do a proper birthday during the break. Court just starts early today. There we go. There we go. I'm sorry. That'll have to do till the break. We'll sing during the break. Remind me.
Okay, good morning. Thank you. Please be seated.
Thank you, Judge. Appreciate you being here.
Okay, good morning, members of the jury. Thank you for your service. Thank you for your punctuality. As I've asked you in the past, I'll ask you again, because there is a media presence with respect to this particular proceeding. I have instructed you to not avoid any exposure relative to any media coverage, but I would ask you now if you have received any media coverage, as you've received any information or have reviewed anything relative to any media coverage, even if it was inadvertent, I would ask that you please raise your hand and indicate so that we can address it. Okay, let the record reflect that none of the jurors have raised their hands. Thank you very much for adhering to my instructions, following my instructions. And with that, we'll proceed. Attorney Kettles? And Mr. Duren, you're still under oath, sir.
Yes. Okay, a few more statements to come out. Let's see how this
Dustin,
goes.
where we left off yesterday, you had just
Dustin,
returned from the
my good
library
friend Dustin.
and eaten lunch. Can you tell me what happened after lunch?
So this was at the house. Caitlin, Elowen, and Valen were all playing in the girls' room. And at that point, I'm just kind of working on things, like kind of getting stuff set up for the weekend and the following week. And then every so often, I would go to the room just to ask, hey, what's going on? Is Brenda picking you up here? Are we meeting her somewhere? Just what's the plan? What is going on?
What did Caitlin say in response?
She was not responding. She was completely ignoring me. Just kept playing with the girls. So about like every 15, maybe it was a half an hour, maybe every 15 minutes, a half an hour, I would come back and ask again, hey, what's going on? What is the plan? And she just kept ignoring me.
What did you think when she kept ignoring you?
So I don't know what's going on. So with backing up to what was happening prior to, again, she was saying that she didn't want to stay at the house, which is fine. But then all of a sudden Brenda isn't coming with us to the restaurant. She's not staying there. She wanted to come back to the house all of a sudden. I'm confused about what is going on. There's a lot going through my head. And one of the things that's in the back of my head, which is why I'm bringing up these stories in the first place, is that the last time she was ignoring me and not telling me what was going on was when she stole Valen out of Nevada.
At some point, did you tell Caitlin that she couldn't stay in your apartment anymore?
Yes. So this is when I'm continually asking her about what's going on. I'm saying, hey, I said that you could stay the night, but you can't stay longer. So what is the plan? You can't stay here. What is the plan? Like, if I need to drive you all the way back to Hampton, fine, but I need to know what is going on.
What was the next thing that she did besides just ignoring you and playing with the girls?
So eventually, at this point, it was getting dark. And eventually, as I'm saying this, she finally gets up. She still hasn't said anything, but she finally gets up and goes to the couch in the living room. And she's on her phone. I don't know what she's doing. It looks like she's texting. So I'm thinking, okay, progress is being made. Like, okay, I'm assuming she's texting Brenda. Okay, she's figuring something out. Good, we're making progress here.
Did you ask her again what the plan was?
So after, again, I don't know how long this would have been, maybe 10 or 15 minutes. But again, she wasn't saying anything. So I'm asking again, are you talking with Brenda? Like, what's going on? What's the plan? And she's still not saying anything. So at this point, like, I'm obviously pretty frustrated. At this point, I'm just saying, okay, you know what? You're not responding. We're clearly not getting anywhere here. So then I'm making the decision that then I'll drive you all the way back to Hampton. I'll drive you the 3 hours or whatever it is, all the way back there. But we need to leave now. You can't be here any longer. We need to leave now.
And what was going through your head at this point that you're telling her we need to leave now?
So again, I don't know what's going on. And again, in the back of my head, I'm thinking, oh, the last time that she wasn't communicating with me was in Nevada with Valen. And I don't know who she's texting. She's sitting on her phone. I don't know who she's texting. If, like, did people come to New Hampshire with her? I don't know. Was she texting other people to, like, come to the house, and that's why she didn't want to leave? Like, I didn't know what was going on. I wanted her out of the house. I did not know the situation. I did not know what was going on, but something was happening. Something was seriously wrong. I wanted to get out of the house.
And what did you do next?
So at this point, this is when I get Valen and I start putting her in the car seat. And so I'm putting her in the car seat in front of the kitchen, sort of at the doorway in front of the kitchen, also in front of the doorway to the bathroom, and it's in the hallway that leads outside to the garage. So I'm putting her in the car seat. At this point, Elowen she's still kind of playing in the room and going back and forth and seeing what we're doing. So at this point, she's out like, okay, we're going somewhere. So she comes out and she's standing behind me in the kitchen. And this is when Caitlin gets up from the couch, grabs Elowen, and then takes her back to the couch.
When she takes her back to
she
the
was
couch,
in the bedroom.
how are the two of them seated?
So, yeah, after I finish buckling in Valen, then I go into the living room, and I see, so Elowen's sort of straddling Caitlin's right leg. She's facing me, so like Elowen's legs are on the outside of Caitlin's right leg. And then she's facing out towards me. And at this point, just one arm, Caitlin has one arm around Elowen, like around her chest.
And what did you do when you saw Caitlin holding Elowen from behind?
So I just started saying, hey, what are you doing? We need to go. And at this point, this is really to where the first time she said anything in which she just said, no, I'm not leaving.
What did you do when she said, no, I'm not leaving?
So again, I start saying, no, we need to leave. We need to go. And at this point, I go up and I try to grab Elowen. And what ends up happening is she pulls back on Elowen and sort of yanks her out of my reach, like away from me. So she yanks her back, and I immediately step back, going, whoa, 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 what is going on? What are you doing? Let Elowen go.
And so Caitlin yanks Elowen back. How is she holding Elowen at this point?
So at this point, just again this was with, I guess probably one arm at this point, but holding her across the chest and then like yanking her backwards.
And you said you let go. Why did you let go?
Because I couldn't hurt Elowen. I didn't want her to be hurt.
And what did you do next after you let go?
So I'm really trying to ask, like, what is going on now? Like something is seriously wrong. What is going on? And this is where she first starts really talking, and where now she's making these demands for just a substantial amount of money that there's no way that I could pay her. And I'm telling her this, like, I can't get you this kind of money. Like, I don't have this kind of money. I'm paying you what I can. I'm sending you what I can. I can't pay this. And then at this point, this is where she's saying, or now threatening, that then, oh, if I can't pay her, then she's going to say that I kidnapped Elowen from Minnesota without her permission, and that she was going to call the cops and have me arrested, and that then I would never see the kids again.
And just to be clear, had you kidnapped Elowen from Minnesota without Caitlin's permission?
No.
And what are you thinking at this point that you're hearing these threats?
So at this point, I think the best way to describe this, I think, is in like a Marine Corps color code system. So it's like a situational awareness, like an internal radar system, but to where just naturally, just a normal person would just be in white. Like their radar is off. They're not, like you're walking into a restaurant and you're not concerned with, like you're not thinking about threats. You're thinking about like what's there to eat. But I think combat vets, probably police officers, I think can say the same thing, that they're probably going into a restaurant and they're just kind of aware of maybe suspicious people or suspicious things that are around, or they want to sit in a corner booth or with their backs against the wall so that they can visually see things. So that's just a natural yellow, like your radar's on a natural yellow.
And what is your radar on most of the time?
Yellow. So I'm constantly on yellow.
And at this point, as Caitlin is making these threats, what does your internal radar do?
So now at this point, I'm in orange, which is, so I'm now seeing a potential threat. I'm seeing my child being restrained to where I can't get to her. I'm thinking of all the suspicious stuff that has been happening about how there's some sort of plan going on, but I don't know about what's happening. And now and with these threats now and her not leaving, like something is seriously wrong, something is seriously happening. And with her now holding Elowen hostage and making these demands, my radar's on. It's on orange. I'm seeing a potential threat, and now I'm observing what else is going on. So at this point, this is where I'm thinking, okay, weapons. Okay, my desk or my gun is on my desk next to the couch. I'm thinking of the knives that are behind me. I'm thinking of the doorways, like the front door is behind me. I'm thinking, is it locked? I think it is. The front door, or the door that's in front of me, is the back door towards the garage. And I'm thinking, okay, that door I think is unlocked. I'm conscious of, oh, she's been sitting on her phone. Is she texting someone? Are people coming to the house? Because I don't know what's going on. She's on her phone. Is people coming to the house? And that's why she doesn't want to leave. So now I'm thinking, I'm conscious of like the windows. Are there lights shining in the windows? Like, is someone pulling up? Are there car doors shutting? Are there people talking outside? I'm just listening for all this stuff. It's just this heightened sense, the situational awareness, where I'm just in a heightened state trying to figure out just everything that's going on.
And what do you do while you're in this heightened state? What do you ask Caitlin?
So I'm now again, I'm just trying to say, hey, just let Elowen go. Like really just let Elowen go. And trying to figure out like what is going on. And again, she's just talking about these, like how she wants money. And if I can't pay her this money, then I need to sell my car and give her the money from my car. And again, I'm trying to explain, like, I can't do this. I'm sending her what I can. I can't send her this money. And then she just continually threats that, okay, then you're never going to see the girls again.
Continually.
She tells you you're never going to see the girls again?
Yes.
So continually, like this happened a long time. This is like the third thing she said.
What was she doing while she was telling you she's going to take your girls and you'll never see them again?
She's holding Elowen hostage in front of me, using her as leverage to try to get what she wanted.
You wanted the leverage?
What are your daughters doing at this point?
So Elowen's crying, and this is why I'm saying, like, Elowen, like, she's smart. She knows when something wrong is happening. So she's crying already. Valen's crying. She's in the hallway, and I can't specifically see her. Like, at this point, too, I can't take my eyes off of Elowen or Caitlin. And, like, I don't even want to go into the kitchen to check on Valen. Like, I can't just take my eyes off of them. This potential threat, I can't go over there and check on Valen. So that's stressing me out, too, of Valen crying in the hallway. It's just adding to the stress.
So what do you do?
So at this point, I'm saying again, just let Elowen go. And I try to grab Elowen again. And at this point, again, now I'm trying harder to get her. So now Caitlin is trying harder to keep her away from me. So again, she's pulling Elowen in tight and yanking her away from me. And so again, I back up because I don't want Elowen to get hurt in this situation.
And what do you do after the second time you try unsuccessfully to get Elowen out of this situation?
So at this point, and this is when I'm talking about the point that I'm yelling. At this point, I am yelling. I'm yelling like, what the hell do you want? I'm just screaming like, what the hell do you want? What is going on? Like, let Elowen go. And she's refusing to do it. She's just saying no, like, I need to pay her. And again, if I wasn't doing that, then I was never going to see the girls again.
And what was Caitlin doing? You've said what she was saying, but how is she holding Elowen at this point?
So she's still got her at this point, still one arm, like maybe the other arm is like on her hand or something. Like, this isn't full bear hug. This is like one arm around her chest, but yes.
And what is going through your mind?
So I'm trying to figure out what to do. just with everything that's going on, I'm trying to figure out, like, how can I get Elwyn out of this situation? And I'm just pleading, like, just please just let Elwyn go. Just please let her go. And she, at this point, she's not responding. And to her phone, I'm noticing to her phone, because her phone was sitting down on the couch at this point, but it was on the couch and it was flashing, like white flashes, like she's getting texts or something like that. So again, I'm like, I don't know what's going on. All I'm thinking of is I need to get Elwyn out of this situation, just getting out of here.
You don't know the situation.
And you had said earlier that what was going through your mind was that Caitlin had kidnapped Valen before.
Yes.
That's leading.
What's different this time?
I mean, the big difference is because she's literally holding Elwyn hostage in front of me. She's using her as leverage to try and get what she wants.
And what are you saying at this point?
Again, I'm just pleading for her to just let Elwyn go. And yeah, she's just not, at this point, she's just not responding to me anymore.
What do you do next?
So this is when I try to make this final attempt to get Elwyn. So my thought is, okay, I'll try to grab like Caitlin's wrist that's across Elwyn. I'll try to grab her wrist. I'll try to get behind Elwyn's back to pull her away, to like simultaneously pull her arm and pull her away. So when I attempt this, when I try to do this, then that's when Caitlin goes full bear hug. She's then squeezing Elwyn harder. She's yanking her away, like twisting her body and yanking her away from me. And two, she's putting her right foot up on the table. So her knee is up, and so Elwyn, being straddled on her leg, she puts her knee up, braces it on the table, and is also using her leg to pull Elwyn back away from me. And just the big thing that happened here is Elwyn screaming, Elwyn yelling. And that was the point to where, again, I let go after Elwyn's scream. And I'm locking eyes with Elwyn, and she's crying. She just let out this scream. And this is where, when I'm talking about the line was crossed, this is what I'm talking about. I'm talking about Elwyn now physically being hurt in front of me. And
by you. That
was the line.
And what's going through your mind at this point when you've locked eyes with Elwyn and you can see that she's been hurt?
So then this is probably the best way to describe this, again, is through this system, this color system, to where now I'm going from orange to red, to where I see an immediate danger. I'm seeing an immediate threat to Elwyn, and I have to take action immediately to save Elwyn. And that's really what's going through my head. The single thing of, I have to get Elwyn out of this situation immediately.
What do you do?
So this is where I'm talking about, to where I say it's like, it was like muscle memory. It was like training coming out, to where I didn't have to think about what was happening. It was like I was trained for this, and this is what I'm supposed to do. But I take then, and this is also, again, this is, like I said, it was really, really fast. The entire thing probably took like 3 to 5 seconds max. I take the 2 steps over, grab the gun. That's as I'm taking probably the 3 steps back over.
2 one day.
I'm chambering around into the gun. I'm I grab Elowen by the shirt collar, the front of her shirt collar. I pull her forward, not to me. I pull her forward to get some sort of distance between her and Caitlin.
Bear hug.
Pull her forward, and then fire.
Is Elowen still in Caitlin's arms when you
Yes.
shoot?
Yes.
I knew it.
What happens after you fire?
So immediately after I shoot, so I'm holding Elowen by the collar. She's, again, Caitlin is still bear hugging Elowen at this point, but the moment I shoot, that's when Caitlin releases. I pull Elowen fully into me, and I immediately run out the door and run to my car.
So Elwyn saw you run over, grab the gun, rack it.
What do you do?
Heard an explosion next to her ear. I think she knows what happened.
So once I'm in the car, this is when, again, the very first thing I'm thinking of is I need to make sure that Elowen is okay. So we sit down in the car, and I'm just checking her over, like physically, to make sure that there is nothing wrong with her, that there's no physical injuries wrong with her. I'm like checking through her hair to make sure that there's just nothing wrong. And there wasn't, but all she's complaining about is she's covering her ears and saying loud, loud. But she's still responding to me. I know she can still hear me, but she's just complaining that it was loud. And as I'm checking her over, I'm not seeing anything physically wrong with her. There's also nothing on her. So I'm making sure that she was okay, and she was physically okay.
Once you make sure that Elowen is physically okay, what happens next?
So at this point, this is when I said this, to where this is when I realized what had happened, to where, like, consciously I'm realizing this wasn't just someone that I shot. This was Caitlin. This was someone that I cared about, who was important to me and my family and my kids. This wasn't just some random person. And I immediately felt horrible. And I didn't understand what was going on. Like, why was this happening? What just happened? Why was this happening? I didn't understand it. So at this point, I'm just trying to figure out what am I supposed to do? I didn't know what I was supposed to do at this point. I'm not thinking like, yeah, I'm not thinking, oh, I'm justified actually because of XYZ. I'm thinking, no, I just shot someone that is not just a random person. This was Caitlin. I didn't know. I'm trying to figure out what to do. And this is again to when just sort of basic instinct is coming out, to where I'm thinking, well, I need to make sure that my kids are okay. So I'm thinking, okay, Elowen is physically okay, but I need to make sure that she's mentally okay too. I need to, because again, I don't know who she was texting, if people were coming to the house. I didn't know what was going on. I wanted to get out of the area, out of the immediate area first. And I wanted to spend time with the girls to make sure that they were mentally okay. So at this point, this is where I am. I'm literally running into the house, just grabbing necessities. I'm like, okay, I'm just grabbing clothes. I'm grabbing blanket. I'm grabbing a pillow. I'm like grabbing what I like, food, water. I'm just grabbing necessities to just bring back to the car. This all probably took maybe 5 minutes total as I'm just running in the house and just grabbing things. I know, I grabbed my computer and my hard drive. I guess it was because, my computer is my life outside of my kids. Like, this is where I do all my work. Like, my hard drive, literally the only thing that's on my hard drive is all backups of my work. So I guess I'm just thinking like, oh, well, this is a necessity. I just have to grab it. So I just grab it. And as I put all this stuff in the car, then immediately take off after that probably took like 5 minutes.
Did you turn out the lights and deadbolt the door?
I mean, I guess. I don't consciously remember doing it, but I guess it makes sense because that's just what I would normally do. Like, hey, I'm leaving the house, I'm turning off the lights, I'm locking the door. I mean, deadbolting the door, I don't even think I had the key to the actual doorknob. I think the only key I had was for the deadbolt. So I guess it was just something natural that I would do as I'm leaving the house, is just turn off the lights and lock the door.
And so, have you also put Valen in the car at this point?
Yes, Valen's in the car as well, yes. If it's not obvious, she was the very first thing I went and got from the house, yes.
And what did you do next once you had packed up the car?
So at this point, I immediately got out of the immediate area. And Elwin and Valen, they both fell asleep pretty much immediately once I started driving. So I just kept going. I just kept driving. Eventually, I got to Concord and to where they're both awake at this point. And I wanted to, again, make sure that they were mentally okay. So I park, I think this was at like a CVS or a Walgreens or something. I park in a parking lot. And I sit down with them, I'm talking with them, I'm just making sure they're okay. I'm not talking about what just happened, I'm just asking if things are okay. And talking to Elwin specifically, I knew Valen was her same old happy self, so I wasn't worried about Valen, and she wasn't even in the room when this was going on. But Elwin, I'm talking to Elwin, and she seemed good. She kept saying like, I'm okay, Dad, I'm okay. And so at this point, now I'm thinking too, okay, well, I haven't received any texts from anyone. I don't know. Again, I don't know if people were coming to the house. I haven't heard anything. I don't know what's going on. I don't even know if anyone knew what had happened. So I'm thinking I have to tell somebody. So at this point, I do three things. First I make a video just showing that we're all okay, that Elwin and Valen specifically, that they're happy and that they're okay. So I just record a video. I'm telling Elwin that I love her, and she's saying, I love you too, Dad, and I'm hugging her. And then Valen, I'm saying I love Valen, and Elwin says, oh, I love you too, Valen, and we're just hugging and just making a recording showing that we're okay and we're happy, and that we're okay. And then I send that to my parents. The second thing I do, because I was already thinking this before I had called my parents, but I was thinking again, I didn't know what to do. I didn't know what was the right thing to do in this moment. And I didn't understand what was even happening at this point. What had happened, like the why, the what, but anyways, so I'm thinking, okay, I still want to spend more time with the girls. I want to, again, just make sure that specifically Alwyn is mentally okay. So I'm going on Google Maps, and I'm sort of planning a route west because I knew I was going to shut my phone off. So I'm planning a route southwest through New York, and I'm writing it down on a Post-it note, which the Post-it note that was still in the car, so you could literally see the route that I took. But I write it down on the Post-it note, and then 3, I call my parents.
Who do you speak to specifically?
So specifically, I call my mom, and I don't tell her anything specifically what happened. I just tell her that I shot Caitlin, that the girls were okay, that I was going to go dark for a little bit, as in turn my phone off, specifically because I didn't want anyone to find us at that point. I wasn't trusting anyone else to make sure that my girls were okay in that moment. Like, I was the only one that could make sure that my girls were okay.
You're the last person.
So I didn't want to be found at that moment. So anyways, I'm telling my mom this, and I'm telling her, hey, you also need to call the cops to make sure that they know what happened. And that was the extent of the conversation. I didn't tell her anything more than that.
Which of your parents did you think would call the cops?
I mean, I guess I would assumed it would be my dad, especially as a retired deputy. I mean, I assumed he would be the one to do it.
What did you do after you talked to your mom?
So at this point, this is where I did turn off my phone. And again, I just started driving southwest. So I drove kind of throughout the night, and made it somewhere into New York. To where it was specifically at a Love's gas station. And again, you could figure out where exactly I was from the Post-it note that I wrote down, like the directions on the Post-it note. You could find this gas station. But anyways, so I stopped there. I parked up. There was a gate or a fence in front of me, pulled up to that, and that was overlooking the freeway. Just pulled up to that, and then just the girls and I slept in the back seat and just slept for the night.
What did you do when you woke up?
So we woke up, everyone, again, Ellen seemed good. She just seemed like her happy self. I mean, we go into the gas station. I mean, we're using the restroom there. Where her interactions with Valen were all good, and everything seemed like she was acting normal, completely fine. We had breakfast there, and this is really at the point to where, because one of the things I was thinking of doing was to drive all the way back to Minnesota to get my kids to my parents, because no one knows my kids better than my parents. No one has been more involved with my kids than my parents. So they were my first thought of who could take care of them. So I was thinking of, okay, well, maybe I'll drive all the way back to Minnesota. But again, that seemed like a bad idea because just with the 2 girls, I mean, specifically with Valen too, being so young, it just didn't seem like a good idea. But to get back to it, Ellen specifically, again, she just seemed fine. She kept saying that, yeah, she's okay. And her interaction specifically with Valen, her interaction specifically with me, she seemed like her same old self. And this is really at the point to where I was thinking, okay, I'm not going to drive all the way back to Minnesota. I should probably turn myself in at some police station. And why I was thinking Concord specifically was because that's where I had originally called, and that was the last place my phone was, or where my phone was on. So that's just why I was thinking Concord. But anyways, so I started driving back. Took the same path back that I had originally driven. And then started thinking that, okay, now I want to get brunch with the girls. And it probably is fair to say that, yeah, I was probably delaying things. And that's probably fair to say that I probably was just delaying things, but I just thought, okay, I want to have brunch with them.
Before what?
Before turning myself in. So.
Did you have brunch with them before you turned yourself in?
No.
What happened?
So, as I'm driving through Keene, so I just entered New Hampshire, and I'm driving through Keene, and I'm looking at restaurants, and as I said before, I see the Applebee's. I'm not looking at anyone else. By the way, I never even knew that there was an Amber Alert. I didn't even think about that would happen. So I didn't know that this was anything other than just police were trying to find me. I didn't think about anything. So anyways, I'm not like looking around at other people. I'm just looking at the Applebee's. And I've never been to Keene before. I've not been to this Applebee's. So I'm just trying to figure out like how do I get into the Applebee's? So I'm like taking a left, and then I'm like, okay, well now there's a median and I can't turn left into the Applebee's. So I'm like going around this roundabout and going back right, and I'm like taking a right, and I guess I turned into the convenient MD, I guess, but then obviously that's not the Applebee's. So I'm pulling in farther through it. And I pull up literally right in front of the door to the Applebee's.
And then what happens?
So I'm just looking at the hours sign. I'm trying to see the hours, and it was closed. But I'm just trying to look out my window, just trying to see the hours. And that's when I noticed the police officer behind me. And I honestly, I can't remember if he had lights on. I don't remember that. He didn't have a siren on.
What did you do when you noticed the police officer?
So at this point, I'm like, okay, well, now even if he's just pulling me over just for some random thing, they're probably going to look up my plate and then see something like that this call was made or whatever. So at this point, I pull forward into a parking spot. And then I'm leaning back. Elwin and Valen were still asleep at this time. I'm leaning back, and again, I'm thinking like, man, I really just want to hug them. And so I'm leaning back. I'm unbuckling Valen, reaching back, unbuckling her seat, and I'm trying to wake them both up. Like, Elwin, Valen, hey, wake up, wake up. And they're both starting to wake up. But at this point, this is when I start hearing people outside, like the officers outside, yelling at me to whatever, get my hands on the steering wheel or put them on the window. So at this point, I didn't want to do anything further. Like, I'm gonna follow their commands. I didn't want anything to happen to Elwin and Valen. I wanted to make sure that everything was good. So I was fully cooperating.
And what did you tell them?
So immediately I'm just yelling like, hey, there's kids in the car, just making sure that they know there's kids in the car. Like, be mindful of your weapons. There is kids in the car.
And what else do you tell them?
So as I'm backing up, and as I'm backing up and they're putting me in handcuffs, then I'm yelling too about how there's a gun in the door. So
why are you telling them there's a gun in the door?
Because it's loaded, and specifically it's in condition 1. So there's a round in the chamber, and the only reason is just because I didn't actually clear it afterwards. I didn't like take the magazine out and like unchamber the round. I just left it, just put on safe, left it, or set it in the door, the driver door.
Why did you tell them that the gun was there?
But just to make sure that they knew that there was a gun in the door. Like, I don't want them, like, whatever, bumping it or, like, grabbing it accidentally or just something, whatever. Just trying to be safe and just letting them know where a weapon is in the car.
And then were you taken into custody?
So, yes, and then that's when, yes, specifically I'm put in that one police cruiser. The detective did come up to me prior to in the doorway, and he didn't really say much. He was just asking if I was okay, and then two, if I wanted anything, if I needed food or something.
So let's talk about what happened when you were interviewed by the police, or when you spoke to the police.
Yes.
Why did you decide to give up your right to remain silent and talk to the police?
And I felt like that was the right thing to do. I mean, I didn't have anything to hide. I'm still trying to figure it out. I'm like, maybe I can talk this through, and like they'll help me try to figure this out of what just happened.
We're gonna figure it out, but I don't think you're gonna like it.
I'm just trying to do the honorable thing, just trying to do the right thing.
How long after the incident did you speak to police?
So this was, I don't know like 15 hours, like 15 hours later. So really short time. So, I mean, too, again, I'm clearly in shock too, because I don't know, like, again, I'm still trying to figure out like the what, the why, the how, like, what is going on. But yeah, anyways.
And tell us what's going through your head. You know, what's kind of your emotional state while you're being interviewed?
So
calm, cool, and collected.
I'm not thinking of like, legally I'm justified, so this is completely fine. I'm thinking, no, I just killed someone, but not just someone. This wasn't just like a random person that was in the house. This was Caitlin. This is the mother of my kids. This is like, I'm feeling just this incredible, really personal guilt of like, how did this happen? And there's this battle in my head of, I don't feel like I did something. Like, I don't feel like this is my fault. Like, I didn't want this. Like, I didn't put this position together. Like, I didn't.
This was your plan.
I wasn't the one who brought this all together. I'm not the one who was like holding Elwyn hostage in front of me. I'm not the one that like was trying to plan all this stuff. Like, but at the same time, I still fired the shot.
Yep.
So I didn't know. I felt this really big, just personal guilt.
We feel that you're guilty as well, sir.
In your police interview, you told police it was definitely very fast and deliberate. And then a moment later you said it was very, very fast, very deliberate. What did you mean when you said it was fast and deliberate?
So again, with the fast, again, this, like I said, the entire process maybe took 3 seconds, like maximum 5 seconds. So again, incredibly fast. But two, I'm speaking about the physical action. I'm not talking about any sort of mental state. I'm talking about the physical action. But what I mean is like how meticulous it was, like how perfectly performed it was. to where, and especially with how fast it was, for everything to happen
Do you want a
within
gold
3 to
star?
5 seconds, like those 2 steps, grabbing it, chambering it, the 3 steps back at the same time, the grabbing Elwyn, the firing, it was so fast and so meticulously performed. That's what I was trying to express.
So like the physical action was deliberate?
The physical action, yes.
It was. He almost said perfect.
All right, you
He
also
almost said
told the
perfect.
police, it doesn't matter if she was threatening, I understand the consequences. What did you mean when you told the police, it doesn't matter if she was threatening, I understand the consequences?
Because again, this just goes back to like the biggest thing with all of this, like with everything, regardless of anything. My children don't have a mom anymore. And there's just this incredible personal guilt of, like, even without me understanding what had happened, and now even too, when I do understand what happened, now, like, I could have prevented this situation from happening.
Yes.
I could have been this better partner. I could have been a better leader to where she would not.
You've never been a leader.
She would not have to even plan this out. Like she wouldn't have to go to people like Brenda or be coerced into trying to do stuff like this. Like I should have been this better person to where this situation shouldn't have even happened.
Yep. We're with you, bud.
You told the police that you didn't know if you wanted to address whether you regretted shooting Caitlin and that it felt like a trap question. Why did it feel like a trap question?
So either response felt like the wrong response. So if I said yes, that I regretted shooting her, then that would mean that, so previously I did want to, but now I don't. Well, that's incorrect. So that felt like a wrong response. But then if I say no, then that means, then I just don't care that she's dead, which is also a wrong response. So it felt like whatever I said was just not the right answer.
And that also was not the right answer.
Along the same lines, you said, not that it even justifies anything, but she's just my everything. What did you mean by that?
So again, like I don't mean to just keep rehashing the same thing, but obviously Elwyn's the purpose in my life. I mean, she really is my everything, and just like trying to understand what had happened. Just trying to figure out, like, did it matter? Like, how much did that matter? Did it matter that she was hurting Elwyn in front of me? Did it matter that she was holding her hostage? And I'm just, again, I just felt so horrible for it that I'm just trying to, I don't know. I'm trying to do the right thing.
Give me 1 minute, Dustin.
He's trying to think it through and say the right thing, and he's struggling because he's got nothing. You ready for fireworks? Always hand to the face. I'm not sure if
At this point, I don't have any more questions.
if you ask Dustin if he would even know how many juror members we have. He has not looked over there.
Is this an appropriate time to take our morning break?
No.
Waiting to see what you would prefer.
Into the
All right,
face.
members of the jury, we'll take a morning break now. It's before 10:15, so we'll get started at 10:25. We'll resume at 10:25. Again, please do not discuss the case amongst yourselves, and if anyone does, please report that to a bailiff. Thank you.
Now, at this point, you're not supposed to talk to anyone during the break, because you're a sworn witness. So I don't think even your lawyers can talk to you about it right now. We have to take a break because we have to sing the happy birthday song, but let's see what happens here, if there's any more discussion as we watch
Court will be in recess.
the middle half of the defendant. Wants to know if he can come down. I think the bailiff's going to lead him out. Cameraman, I think, is left already. Cameron fell asleep. All right. We're now at the fireworks part. This is going to get really crazy really fast, I think. What a train wreck. What a train wreck of testimony from the defendant. He's said he feels guilty. He said he could have prevented this from happening. He's said everything we've been trying to say all along. And he's dug himself a hole that knows no bounds. We could rest right here. The state could say, no questions, Your Honor, with a little snarky laugh, and just be done. And I think the jury would get it here. The jury doesn't have questions in these ones, no questions. That being said, the state's not going to do that. The state will cross, and I have questions. His stories are not holding up to what he said before. But before we do that, I promised you we would make it right on the birthdays. So we have to sing the real birthdays. If you'll join me just for a minute while we celebrate these wonderful people. Normally we do this first thing in the morning, but we're going to go ahead and celebrate the birthdays right now for Beryl, behind Rudy's Fairing, Cindy, Jackson, Jesse Todd, Jonathan, that's a heavenly birthday for Jonathan, KK, Madeline, and Shih Tzu Dad and Zach. So, everyone stand up, take your breath, shoulders back, project your voice to the back of the room, blend your voice for the neighbor, warm up with me if you will. La 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 la. We're going to sing happy birthday to these wonderful people. And we're not going to rush it. 2 verses. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to Beryl, behind Rudy's Fairing, Cindy, Jackson, Jesse Todd. Happy birthday to you. So next verse, we're going to sing Jonathan, KK, Madeline, Shih Tzu Dad, and Zach. Here we go. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to Jonathan, KK, Madeline, Shih Tzu Dad, and Zach. Happy birthday to you. There we go. There we go. Now, Beryl, behind Rudy's Fairing, Cindy, Jackson, Jesse Todd, Jonathan, KK, Madeline, Shih Tzu Dad, and Zach. I realize there are many places you could be, and many people you could have celebrated with, but you chose to be here with us. The privilege, the pleasure, the honor, the joy is ours. Hopefully we can return that joy back to you, make your day a little more special, or begin by helping yourself to free pancakes at Denny's, IHOP, Village Inn, Waffle House, McDonald's, Tammy Dunlap's house, Andy's Grill, Bob Evans, and Cracker Barrel. Happy birthday to you, late ad. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Blackbird Rest and Elaine. Happy birthday to you. You get free pancakes as well. Happy birthday to everybody. There we go. I think we've got everybody. We've sung to everyone. All we have left to do is finish the drum solo, and then we'll be back to court. Oh, it's not yet. We've got one more verse, I think. My arms are tired. I did a workout that just my shoulders are feeling it this morning. So, gonna help me with the drums here. Here we go. Make it snap. Beautiful. There we go. Happy birthday to everybody. Thanks for joining us on the celebration there. We're going to go back to court here. And sit tight as we wait for the state to get their first crack at the defense. And I hope they push him. I hope they push him. I hope they jump around in the timeline. I hope they try to make him clarify, because when we heard him describe how Caitlin responded or failed to respond, by my count, it went like this. All day long since they woke up, he's saying, what's the plan? What's the plan? What's the plan? What's the plan? Caitlin, what's the plan? Caitlin, I'm talking to you. Can you hear me, Caitlin? Caitlin, what's the plan? Caitlin, I know you can hear me. Caitlin, what's the plan? So this is going on every 15 minutes, right? Like an adult would do. No. And she's not responding at all. Not a word. Until she's out on the couch with his daughter Elowen on her lap in one arm. She's reclining, wrapped in a blanket, I might add. We know that because that's how the police found her. Wrapped in a blanket on the couch, 1 foot up on the coffee table. And he's like, what's the plan? What's the plan? As he's loading the car, right? He's like getting ready to go. We need to go now. What's the plan? She breaks her silence to say, you need to pay me a whole bunch of money. That's how this starts. You need to pay me a whole bunch of money. And in his head, he's thinking, how am I going to sell my car? Should I use Facebook Marketplace or Craigslist? All these thoughts are going through his head. And he's like, I can't do that. What's the plan? What do you want? And she says, I'm not leaving. Or no. The second time she says, I'm going to call the police and tell them you kidnapped Elowen and took him out of state. Okay, just think this one through. Police arrive. Mom and dad are there with the kids at the house, at the apartment the dad rents. And he's like, man, that can't happen. That can't happen. The cops would show up to mom and dad being there with the kids. And he's like, they'll think I kidnapped her. Really? That was your go-to? Unless maybe you did. I don't know. Maybe that's what happened. So, money, I'm going to kidnap him. No, I'm not going to go. Fight over Elowen. And 3 seconds, he took 1, 2 steps to the gun, 3 steps back, cocked the gun, grabbed Elowen, pulled her out of the way, and fired in 3 seconds. He must have been sprinting. And like I said, from how he told the story, Elowen was wrapped in a bear hug in her mom's arms when her mom was shot. And he hasn't said this part out loud, but he probably checked her because from appearances, she could have appeared to be injured. This type of injury leaves a lot of blood splatter. And Elowen was on the side that would have received that splatter. And so as he's checking her head to see if there's any bullet wound on it, you can imagine, I don't believe he pulled her back. I don't believe he pulled her back. It doesn't add up. Her being there with 2 arms over her chest and he grabbed her by the shirt and pulled her forward. in that position. It's harder to move her than ever before. He couldn't move her with it when it was one arm. Couldn't move her when he tried to pull the hand away, and then she went into the bear hug, and then he was able to move her right before he shot. Nope, that didn't happen either. I'm not believing the story, and I don't think the jury should either. It's terrible. We've missed a couple people I need to recognize here really quickly. Jennifer Juniper, member for 21 months. OG, woohoo! 21 months. Thank you, Jennifer Juniper. Meg Osborne, member for 27 months on the jury. Meg, thank you very much. New profile pic looks great, and Grandpa Faye is coming. I have to tell you, my daughter-in-law and my son called us last night and told us it's going to be a girl. So we now know the gender. It's going to be a girl. Anyway, soon, in a couple months. Well, it's way too long. It's going to take forever. Devin Daughtry, member for 12 months, hit the year mark. Meg, by the way, OG, thank you very much. Devin Daughtry, member for 12 months, thank you very much. Whole year, how exciting. There's no place else I'd rather be. DSN 385, member for 32 months. This is the definition of OG for short. DSN, thank you very much for that. Behind Rudy's Fairing, happy birthday, my friend. And gifted 5 memberships as well. Thank you for your generosity. Gigi Sharebear, member for 25 months. We have a lot of OGs here. And Gigi, you're an OG. Where's the time gone? Be blessed and be a blessing to someone today. Love this chat. Thank you very much. Ricky C. Hello, Ricky. I know that's your favorite sound effect. Member for 27 months. OG. Thank you, RA and mods, for what you do and don't do. Love it here. Thank you, Ricky. I love that. Legally Blonde, member for 24 months. Finally, you got the new color courthouse in pink. 24 months looks great. Remember, the G in my OG stands for gangsta. OG. Thank you, Legally Blonde. Hello, Ricky. That was you. I know it. That was Kim, actually. Let's see. Joanna Johnson. Jonna Johnson. It's Jonna, right? I'm sorry if I messed up your name a little bit. I'm having a hard time pronouncing things today. Member for 19 months. I think you've been here longer. That makes you an OG as well. Bree Ross, member for 6 months. New courthouse. Who dis? Best chat and channel on the interwebs. OG, here I come. Very soon. You'll be there. And let's see. Oh, man. DSN gifted 5 memberships. DSN, thank you very much. Irish Leone, member for 13 months. Thank you. Wouldn't be the same without you here. Thank you, Irish Leone. Nikki Lewis, member for 12 months, also hit the 12-month. Congratulations. Legally Blonde Pink is for courthouses and a new granddaughter. I'm so excited. We're just thrilled. Lindsay Bay, member for 20 months. OG. Love it here. Don't love this guy's story, though. Thanks, RA mods and chat. Thank you, Lindsay Bay. Appreciate that. Appreciate your support. All this is possible because you guys are incredibly generous and make it able for me to have the best job in the world, and that's this, getting to watch court with y'all each day. Courtney Arleo. You know I've struggled with your name the whole time. Baby girl, congratulations. Thank you. 30 months, Courtney. OG. Congratulations there. Tumwater Troy, gifted a membership as well. Thank you all. All right, we've got just a moment or two before we come back, and I'm expecting the state to bring the fire, to bring the heat, and to jump around, and to try to pin him down to the timeline. I want him to try to explain, because he uses words like, she wasn't talking to me, and then she just wasn't responding, and then she just kept continually saying, I'm like, hang on, whoa. You can't be receiving both the silent treatment and like the I told you so, I told you so, I told you so, I told you so response from the same person at the same time. Okay, the two are mutually exclusive. But that's where we are. I want them to pin him down to that, where he can try to describe it, and I really think they might get him to slip up a little bit, because he thinks he's good. He thinks he's perfect. He thinks he gets a gold star for this. He doesn't. And I think he's going to trip up on the story, as there's just too much in his head to try to keep straight. And he's not able to. That's why he struggles so much answering these questions. All right. Did I miss something? Is the expected grandchild a girl? Yes, Robin Stout, it is. They're having a baby girl. And we just found out the gender yesterday. So very excited. What is baby girl going to call you? Oh, well, we actually had that conversation as well, Anne. They asked me what I would like to be called. And I said, look, I've read the parenting, the grandparenting 101 books. And as a parent, you get to choose the child's name, but the child gets to choose the grandparent's name. So when the child is able to start pronouncing my name or something similar to it, that's what I will be at that point. They get to choose. And usually the first child picks it for everybody. So looks like the judge is coming back here. People are standing. The jury should be back here in just a moment. We are very blessed. We're very blessed. Super excited for them. Do you already have any? No, this is the first one on both sides. The very first grandchild. So, like for my wife's parents and for my parents, first grandchild, great grandchild for them. Is that right? How do I do that? Yeah, I think that would be great. Holy cow. I don't know. Basically, none of my siblings' children have had children yet, and none of my wife's siblings' children have had children yet. Ours is the first. Kelly, thanks for the super sticker. Jury's coming back in right now, so we're about to get this kicked off. I hope the judge lets them not really badger him a bit, but push him. You know, get him off his rhythm in his narrative. This is funny. Nurse. I don't think they're going to call me RA. I don't think so. It would be funny, though. All right. He did not call 911. He never said. He also didn't check on her, on his wife. Didn't describe how he got the gun in the car.
Please be seated.
I saw that. That was awesome.
Mr. Duren, again, you're still on rules. Thank you.
Let the water flow. I think he's going to drink a lot here. He's uncomfortable already.
May I proceed, Your Honor? Mr. Duren, you testified on Friday that it was January 19th of 2024 when Caitlin first sent you her flight information as to how she was going to come to New Hampshire with Valen. Is that correct?
Yes.
And you hadn't quite left from Minnesota at that point. You were, in fact, still there until the 20th, the next day?
Yes.
So it was on January 19th that you knew that Caitlin's ticket from Minnesota to Boston was for two people, correct?
Well, it was a single ticket, but yes, with both, because Valen was only one at the time.
And you knew that it was a round-trip ticket for two passengers, correct?
Yes.
But your intention was, and the thought was, that Caitlin wouldn't bring Valen back to Minnesota, that you would keep her there with you, correct?
Yes.
And you wanted Caitlin and believed that Caitlin was going to go to Minnesota again after that.
For a few more months, yes.
She then was going to move to New Hampshire and live about 2.5 hours away from you?
And if that was what she wanted, yes.
Were you going to let her? You weren't going to let her move into your house in Berlin, correct?
As I said earlier, I would have if she wanted to have the conversation. I would have talked about it.
Mm-hmm. But you've testified and you have heard your statement where you told the police that your plan, as you discussed with your mom, when you would have victory was for when you had the girls and Caitlin was gone, correct?
Because that was what was always the plan.
Now, you made it clear to police that you're a very calm person, correct?
Yes,
You do your best under stress,
I think so, yes.
and that's what you told them, correct?
Yes,
Now, you've talked to us today about this Marine threat level that you function with in your daily basis, correct?
yes,
But as being a Marine, you were taught how to deal with stress, correct?
yes.
That's part of what that MCMAP training is, the Marine Combat Martial Arts Program.
Well, that's not about stress, but about drilling and training.
Well, it's a three-part process, right? It teaches you about intellectual stuff, mental training, as well as physical and disciplinary training, correct?
Sure, yes,
And so it teaches you as a Marine, because that's a high-stress job, right?
yes,
And you need to be able to assess threats, but still make decisions, correct?
yes,
All right. Now, you told the police that you only yelled at Caitlin one time on January 29th, the day you killed her, correct?
yes.
But today you've testified that you were yelling at her, you were screaming at her. What's going on? Give Elowen back, correct?
No.
No, you
I
weren't
s-
screaming at all?
I said this was the one time that I did yell.
So you
The
yelled
one
once?
time, yes, the one time where I was yelling, yes.
And you yelled just once, one yell.
Okay, maybe it was 2 sentences.
Could it have been more than 2 sentences?
No.
You were pretty frustrated, weren't you?
I was having justifiable emotions with my child being held hostage in front of me.
And those
But
emotions
yes.
were frustration, correct?
You could say that, yes.
Anger, correct?
No, I don't think so.
You weren't angry. You just said she was being held hostage. That didn't
She
make
was.
you angry?
I was frustrated, yes, but I wouldn't go so far as to say that I was angry.
But it caused you to yell just once, and that's one of what, 3 times in your entire relationship.
Yes,
Now, there was no time on January 29th of 2024 where Caitlin hit you, correct?
no,
She never struck you.
no,
She never struck Elowen.
no,
She never struck Valen.
no,
In the moments before you shot her, you described to police that she was holding Elowen in a bear hug, correct?
yes.
Today you've described it as a one-arm hold. Fair to say?
No, the bear hug was in the 3rd attempt, the final attempt.
Okay, but before that, Caitlin was only holding Elowen with one arm.
Sure, yes,
Caitlin was 5 feet tall.
yes,
She was 114 pounds.
about, yeah,
Okay, well, you heard the medical examiner say he weighed her naked body, and she was 114 pounds, correct?
okay, yes,
Now, you are about 5'10", correct?
yes,
On your license, it says you were 190 pounds. Fair to say?
yes,
You're bigger than she is.
yes.
You're stronger than she is.
But that has nothing to do with when she's holding my child hostage and restraining her.
Mr. Duren, you're bigger than she is, correct?
Yes,
You're stronger than she is,
yeah,
correct?
yes,
You've had martial arts training, correct?
yes,
You know how to fight with your hands.
yes.
And yet, when Caitlin was holding Elowen with one arm, you couldn't get her away.
Without hurting Elowen, no.
Your testimony today is actually that you shot Caitlin because she hurt Elowen in a moment when you tried to pull her away, correct?
Yes.
She had no weapons?
Well, actually, I
Mr.
should
Duren,
clarify.
You've answered the question. You had no weapons? I'm sorry,
I had?
She had no weapons?
She did not have a weapon, no.
She did not have a knife.
She did not have a knife, no.
Where you were standing, you had 2 pocket knives behind you in the room, correct?
In the bedroom,
In your bedroom?
yes, behind me,
The front door was behind you.
yes,
Where you were positioned in the living room, she would have to go through you to get to the back door, correct?
yes. That's why I didn't want to leave the immediate area, why I had to keep constant visual on her and Elowen.
But you didn't have constant visual on Valen, correct?
Sadly, no.
Caitlin did not have a gun, correct?
No.
You had the gun.
Well,
right?
technically the gun was closer to her, but there was a gun in the room, yes.
Now, let's talk about that. Caitlin was at your house. She spent the night.
Yes.
At some point, however, even though you were nervous, because you've described that the whole time she was there, you wanted her to leave, right?
I wouldn't say I was nervous that night or the morning.
But you wanted her to leave.
Yes.
You were suspicious, right?
Yes.
Because you hadn't expected her to come to the house.
No.
You testified that that made you nervous, correct?
Yes. Yes.
So you were nervous.
Okay. Yes.
Now, you have a gun safe in that house, a gun lockbox, right?
I do. Yes.
It's in the back bedroom, right when you walk in from the back door, correct?
Yes.
You didn't put the gun in that lockbox, right?
No. The gun is always near me.
Except when it's in the lockbox?
I guess it would depend on the situation, but it would have been rarely in the safe.
Mm-hmm. When the gun was on the desk, you weren't sitting at the desk, correct?
I was previously,
You
but
didn't pick up the gun when you walked away from the desk?
no.
So the gun isn't always near you, fair to say?
I always have visual on it. This is something that is instilled in you from the Marine Corps. You always know where your weapon is. You always are aware of who's around it.
Was it instilled in you in the Marine Corps to leave your gun out on a desk if you're nervous about the other people who have access to it?
Again, I know who is around it at all times.
You've testified that you were nervous about Caitlin, correct?
Sure, yes.
Okay, and you testified today, you didn't tell the police, but you testified today, or I guess on Friday, that you had taught Caitlin how to use that gun, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And today you testified that you were concerned because she was in close proximity to the gun, right?
Which is, again, why I wasn't leaving the room.
Mm-hmm. But you were concerned, and that's what you've testified today, that Caitlin was in close proximity to the gun, right?
Yes.
Part of that concern that you thought maybe she might go for the gun?
I can't say hypotheticals, but that was the point of me staying in the room and constant visual on her and Elwyn.
Well, you can't say hypotheticals, but you sure testified that you didn't know someone was outside your door, correct?
Yes,
That's a hypothetical, right?
I suppose so, yes.
Can't say hypotheticals, but you sure testified that you weren't sure if Caitlin had texted somebody to come to the house, correct?
Yes.
You can't say hypotheticals, but you sure testified that you didn't know if Caitlin had brought other people with her from Minnesota, correct?
Yes.
Now, I want to talk to you a little bit more about your calmness under stress. You told a story on Friday, the third story, I believe, about what happened to you in Las Vegas, right? You were directed to talk about the third thing.
Yes.
And so let's talk about that third thing. In Las Vegas, one night when Caitlin was at work, correct?
Yes, I believe she was babysitting someone, yes.
Okay, but that's work, right? She was making money doing that?
Yes, yes.
You were at home and you heard a person try to get into the front door, correct?
Yes.
That person was a stranger?
Yes.
You didn't know them?
This story is
Had
so
no
bad.
reason to have feelings for that person?
No.
No love for them?
No.
You picked up your gun when you heard that person at the door, correct?
Yes, after bringing Elwyn upstairs and made sure that she was safe upstairs and not to move.
Left her in a place in the house where you didn't have eyes on her, correct?
They would have had to got through me to get to her.
You picked up your gun?
Yes.
You made sure that it was loaded with a clip in it?
And it was loaded previously, but yes.
Okay. You racked the slide to make it ready to fire?
It was, at that point, actually, it was already loaded.
So you already had it ready to fire?
Yes.
So when you told the police in your statement that you are a person who never keeps the gun with a bullet in the chamber, that wasn't quite true, correct?
Never, I guess I shouldn't have said an absolute like never, but a majority of the time it is in condition 3, not condition 1.
Okay.
So Normally without a round in the chamber.
So when the person was trying to break in your front door and you picked up your gun, it was already ready to go, right?
Yes.
Was the safety on?
Yes.
Did you turn it off?
No.
So you approached the stranger at your front door with a loaded gun ready to fire, but the safety's still on, correct?
Yes, that is how you train. You don't take the safety off until immediately before you fire, and then you immediately put it back on.
Excuse me?
And holding that gun, you told the stranger to leave.
Yes.
Holding that gun, you told the stranger that you were armed, correct?
Yes.
Holding that gun, you opened your front door to the stranger and said you should go, correct?
Yes.
Holding that gun, you showed the stranger your weapon, and you said, look, I'm armed, correct?
Yes.
You told the stranger you could shoot, correct?
No, but
Pretty much
I'm
implied,
flashing
right?
it. Yes. Yes.
You had called the police that night.
Yes.
Your muscle memory didn't take over, right? You didn't just shoot the stranger.
Because the stranger wasn't holding my child.
But the stranger was trying to break into the house where your child was located.
But I was in between that person and the child. And they were never in the house.
And you didn't shoot that stranger in the head, did you?
No.
You waited for the police and the stranger just walked away.
Well, they continued banging on windows and trying to get in through windows, and then eventually left as I stayed downstairs and monitored.
So this person not just knocks on your door and attempts to break in, but now they're breaking through windows. You don't see your child and you don't shoot.
They
correct?
didn't actually break a window, but they were banging on windows, yes.
You testified that on February the 14th of 2024, you called the Berlin Police Department, right?
Yes.
And you called them because you just had a fight over the phone, so you say, with Caitlin, correct?
Yes.
And that was about custody, correct?
Yes.
And in that phone conversation, is it fair to say that Caitlin made some of the same statements you've testified she made on the 29th before you shot her?
Yes.
You say that she was demanding money, she wanted the kids on her taxes, she was never going to let you see them again, and she was going to bring them back to Minnesota, correct?
Yes.
So to call the Berlin Police Department, you had to look up that phone number, correct?
I did, yes.
You spoke with somebody for over 6 minutes at the police department, didn't you?
Okay, yes.
On February 29th, you had your cell phone with you, right?
I couldn't say where it was, but
You had it while Caitlin was at your apartment?
yes.
You had it the whole time that she was there?
Yes.
You had it the every 15 to 30 minutes that you walked in to ask her to leave and she ignored you?
Well, I wasn't seeing a threat at that point.
But you were nervous.
I was,
correct?
yes.
You testified just now that that made you wonder what the plan was, what she was going to do, whether something was afoot, correct?
But I don't think that would be appropriate to call the police over.
But then after those, you didn't shoot her then either, correct?
No.
So after going into the room every 15 to 30 minutes, and let's be clear, this is from lunchtime, correct, until it gets dark.
Yes.
So let's say from noon till maybe 5 p.m.?
Sure.
Okay,
Yes.
just as an average, right? So 12 to 1, 1 to 2, 2 to 3, 3 to 4, 4 to 5, 5 hours, right?
It's 20 times.
At any time during those, either the 5 hours or
20
at
to
any
60
time
times.
during the day prior to shooting Caitlin in the head, you never tried to force her to get out of your apartment, correct?
No, I didn't physically try to force her out of the home. No.
You knew that you could, right?
Because I'm stronger, I guess.
Well, you've in fact
Sure.
made her leave a home before, correct?
Your Honor, may we approach?
Add to the sidebar counter.
Sure.
This is a prior. Okay, we're going to be at 56 now. There we go. You made her leave a house before. We're getting into some prior exchanges. She could have called the police and had her removed. Yeah, even if they took an hour to get there, it would have happened sooner than this. Hand to the face. Has he had water yet during this break, or is it right before the question starts? This is a prior bad acts, possibly. I would expect, with the way the judge has been ruling, that this would not be allowed in, that they can't go any further down this route, unless, I don't know, the state can't open the door to this. If this was covered in a motion to eliminate, they can't open their own door. He's a legend in his own mind. He is. I think it's quite interesting that he keeps his eyes on the defense or the prosecution during this, because he sees them as a threat right now. He sees them as a threat, and he can't take his eyes off. He looks over the jury, glances away, looks down. Just touch the face, go for the water. Threat level midnight. Threat level black. It's black right now. He said she released her after the bear hug after the shot. Yeah.
Mr. Duren, you've made Caitlin leave a house before, correct?
Oh. Said
Yes
sure.
or no?
No.
Okay. Now we can impeach. Careful. We might be able to go further. Do we have to approach again? I thought he answered positively before the break, before the sidebar, and now negative? The eyebrow's still up. He's...
Court's indulgence.
There's something she's looking for. Something specific.
Mr. Duren, at no time before you shot Caitlin in the head did you call the police and tell them that she was refusing to leave your home, correct?
No.
At no time before you shot her in the head did you call the police and tell them that you were afraid that she was going to harm your children, correct?
That's correct.
At no time before you shot her in the head, at any point during that day, did you call the police and say that you were afraid she would take your children, correct?
I did prior to that, but not that day, no.
You mean the February 14th phone call, correct?
Yes.
You didn't call the police back, correct?
No.
You didn't call back the officer that you spoke with for 6 minutes?
No.
You had set it up so that they were aware, correct?
Yes.
But you never bothered to call them that day and say, hey, get this woman out of my house, correct?
Because at the point that this was happening, this was a moment-to-moment situation. I couldn't take my eyes or my focus off of Elwyn or Caitlin.
Between 12 p.m. and 5 p.m., you asked Caitlin to leave approximately, what, 12 times?
Well, yes, but that didn't seem appropriate enough a reason to call the police over.
She was staying in your house against your will, correct?
I was trying to figure out the plan.
You were not concerned enough that you needed to call the police to have her leave, correct?
At that point, no.
But even though you wanted her to leave, you did nothing to make it happen.
I was
Correct?
trying to figure out the plan.
still in control.
Mr. Duren, after you shot the police, and you've testified here today that you didn't understand what had happened, correct?
Can you clarify? I
You
shot the police?
After you shot Caitlin, you have testified today that you did not understand what had happened, correct?
Yes, I was trying to figure it out.
You were trained as a Marine, right?
Yes?
You know what happens when you fire a gun at somebody, correct?
Yes.
You know what the intention is when you point and fire a gun at somebody, correct?
Yes.
And that intention is to kill.
Yes.
You knew that you had done that you had killed Caitlin, correct?
I didn't consciously realize that it was Caitlin until, like I said, I was in the car with Elowen.
So you knew that there was somebody dead on the couch in your living room, right?
My focus was Elowen.
And you knew that it was Caitlin who had set you off and made you grab the gun.
I don't know if I would say set me off, but yes.
Well, you
yes.
described it as a tick, right?
Yes.
Setting you off, it's a tick, right?
Hurting my child in front of me. Yes.
Okay. And your testimony today is that that is the reason why you fired.
Yes.
After you shot her, you didn't call the police to report that you had just killed somebody inside of your own apartment.
No.
You didn't call the police and report that you had done that because somebody had hurt your child, correct?
No.
You didn't do that to say to the police, hey, I thought they were going to kidnap my child, correct?
Correct.
You didn't call the police and say, hey, I thought that my child was being held hostage and I had no choice, correct?
I did not call the police and tell them those things, no.
You never called the police, did you?
I called my parents and told them to call the police,
You
yes.
agree that's not calling the police, correct?
Technically, no.
Not technically, sir. It is not calling the police to call your parents who live thousands of miles away. Fair to say?
Okay, yes.
Now, Mr. Duren, you and Caitlin ostensibly, for lack of a better term, broke up in August of 2023, correct?
Well, I guess a couple weeks before, end of July. But
End of
yes,
July?
yes,
Okay.
yes.
And since that time, you've engaged in different arguments about the children, fair to say?
Sure, yes.
About their custody, who they should live with more often than not, fair to say?
Sure, yes.
You've had the same arguments since you broke up that you've described to us here in your testimony today, right?
Not to that extent, but yes, yes,
Okay. But you've had arguments about money since August of 2023.
yes,
You've testified that those arguments involved Caitlin asking you for more money, correct?
yes,
You've had arguments about how much time the other parent should get to spend with each child, correct?
no, not how much they should spend. I always wanted to try to keep it 50-50.
You wanted to keep it 50-50, but since August, you've seen Valen, I think you said 93 times, and Caitlin had her 48, correct?
Or I think it was 98 and 48 and then 15 split. But that was a lot of what Caitlin was telling me about was just how difficult it was to try to work and also care for the kids at the same time. So it was just making sense with me having them more. That wasn't me demanding that I needed them more, no.
Okay. But you wanted to have full custody of them with her elsewhere, correct?
No, absolutely not.
You testified that you've spoken with attorneys in both Nevada and Minnesota, correct?
Yes,
You never filed for custody in Nevada? Correct?
no.
You never filed for custody in Minnesota, correct?
No.
You never filed paperwork with any court, correct?
No.
There is no court order that gave you sole custody of these children, correct?
No, I didn't want full custody or sole custody.
And there was no court order that took away Caitlin's rights to custody of the children, correct?
No.
She, in fact, and you had the same or equal rights to both children, correct?
Objection, speculation.
Overruled.
That's correct, yes.
Now, when you walked over to your desk to pick up the gun, you picked up the gun, correct?
Yes.
You testified that you racked the slide.
Yes.
That placed a bullet in the chamber, correct?
Yes.
You left the safety on at that point because you were not quite ready to fire?
Well, I'm fairly certain when you rack it back, the safety gets flipped off because the hammer is back.
Caitlin saw you pick up the gun, didn't she?
I'm sure she did, yes.
Caitlin heard you rack the slide, correct?
Your Honor, may we approach?
There's 57. We just check. He was using a Beretta 92F. Let's see. No, the Beretta 92F does not default to safe when the slide is racked. You must manually engage the safety lever on the side. Does it default to fire?
Is when you rack the slide, correct?
No, it doesn't.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah, you can hear it, right?
You can hear it.
You heard it in this room when Jill Terrio racked a slide on an unloaded gun, correct?
Yes.
So you can assume if Caitlin's sitting closer to the gun than you were, she heard it, right?
Yes.
She reacted, didn't she?
She did not, no.
Caitlin didn't ask you what you were doing?
Maybe she attempted to say that.
Well, did she attempt to say, what are you doing? Or did she say, what are you doing?
I can't say.
She's leaving these long pauses after he says something very uncomfortable.
Mr. Duren, do you recall what Caitlin did that was her attempt to say, what are you doing?
No.
Mr. Duren, you've reviewed all of the evidence for this case, correct?
I hope so, yes.
Okay, you've spoken to your attorneys about it?
Yes.
You've gone over any reports that were created?
Your Honor, can we approach?
This might be attorney-client privilege a little bit, but I think she hasn't broached it yet. So this is... I'm not sure if she'll get to finish going down this avenue. Get to your question. You can't... I don't think she'll be allowed to do this line of questioning just to leave in the mind of the jury that so you had all the pieces you needed to build a story that would weave together the evidence that exists. I don't think she can use it for that purpose. But maybe they'll let her. I don't think this prosecutor had a lot of work to do. I think the average juror will think so much more differently than the defendant did in this situation, putting themselves in that situation, that they're going to say that's not reasonable to act the way he did.
Excuse me.
I apologize, Your Honor.
Yep. Members of the jury, I'm going to strike the last question and answer and just indicate that relative to any instructions or conduct between Mr. Duren and his attorneys would be attorney-client privileged, and you are to not to consider the last question and answer. Thank you.
Just get to the meat of it. Here we go.
Mr. Duren, I'm showing you what's been marked for identification purposes as State's Exhibit 33 in this matter. Just looking at that header, and I'm not asking you to read anything out loud, but looking at this document, do you recognize it?
Yes.
It's a document that was prepared, correct?
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to ask you to take a look at this document. I'm going to ask you, counsel, for your information, it's on page 2 of that document.
Edification.
I'm going to ask you to take a look at the third paragraph, and really it's towards the bottom here. I'm going to ask you to read those to yourself, and you look up when you're done.
Okay.
Does that refresh your recollection as to whether Caitlin asked you what you were doing with the gun?
I'll just say I'm not going to comment on what someone else said. I said someone else said.
So the answer is, in here it says that you told someone that Caitlin had asked you what you were doing with the gun, correct?
I'm not going to say why someone else said I said something.
But that doesn't refresh your recollection that Caitlin looked at you after she saw the gun, after she heard the slide rack, and said, "What are you going to do?" Correct?
She did not say that, no.
Well, let's look at another document associated with that. State's Exhibit 34 for identification. I'm going to ask you to take a look at this document right here where the tab is marked, and you can look at the whole thing afterwards. It's underlined on the page that's tabbed. Have you seen that report? That's a draft copy of that report you just looked at, right?
Well, that would be the same person, so yes.
And that same person is somebody that you met with, spoke with, and provided information about this incident, correct?
Sure, yes.
Okay. Someone who you've described in messages as the key to everything, correct?
No.
That report where it says, and Caitlin nonchalantly...
Your Honor, may we approach?
We're stacking up the documents. It is getting good. Approach much? Yes. We expect those often. We're going to need more water. Can we get a refill to the defense table, please? his snarkiness and his desire to be right is tripping him up. I think he's getting tripped up between his desire to be right now and give the right answer and his desire to give a believable answer previously. And the two are not matching. All right. Judge is not helping my client's case. Please make it stop. Yeah, but guess what? Your client is the one charged with murder, and he's the one that chose to take the stand in his own defense. And this is called cross-examination. And had he not talked as much as he did, maybe we would not have as much material to go over. But he did talk, and he talked a lot. And now he has to answer for that. So the cross is going to continue. This is spicy. All right, let's see if we can go there. Oh, judge rules no.
So, Mr. Duren, after you picked up the gun, racked the slide, you walked back over to where Caitlin was on the sofa, correct?
Yes.
To walk around the coffee table to get there?
Yes.
You grabbed Elowen with one hand?
Yes.
Had no issue taking her from Caitlin at that moment, correct?
I never took her and never said I did. I pulled her back. The reason being to create some sort of distance, for two reasons. To create some sort of distance between Elowen and the threat, and then two, to control Elowen while I took the shot, just to make sure that she didn't, like, all of a sudden jerk in front of the path or something like that.
She was
So
right
you were
next
holding Elowen back with one arm, correct? Controlling her.
Yes.
You were holding the gun in the other arm, your right hand.
Yes.
Where were you leaning? Way over the couch?
You extended your arm to fire, correct?
No. So, I mean, it could be helpful if I actually showed the exact positions.
Oh, please do.
But
please
my
do.
hand would have been, like, as I'm leaning forward over because the table's over here, the couch is in front of me, I'm leaning forward because Caitlin's leaning back against the back of the couch with Elowen. So I'm leaning forward, grabbing her, and then the gun would have been probably back here as I'm firing.
And you're firing like this?
Sideways?
Well, whatever this motion is, yes.
Without looking through the sights?
No,
Without
I was
aiming
not
in any
looking through
way?
the sights, no. I was absolutely aiming, yes,
With your hand behind you or next to your body?
yes.
So you couldn't see the exact location where that barrel was pointed, correct?
When someone fires a gun tens of thousands of times, you know where it's aiming at all times.
You know where it's aiming when you're standing like this with your gun here.
Absolutely.
You know if your elbow's not cocked in the wrong position. You know if you're off by an inch. Is that fair to say?
Yes,
You testified
That
when you were actually
means
told the police. They asked you if you knew where you had shot Caitlin, correct?
yes,
And you told them you did, exactly. You described exactly where on her head she was shot, correct?
yes,
On the side of her head in a place where it was covered by her hair.
yes.
You know, Mr. Duren, you testimony today. Just want to go through a couple of things in there.
If there's no stippling,
Before we get to that.
did he shoot her from the desk? Did he shoot from way
After
back?
you shot Caitlin, that's when you began loading the car, correct?
Afterwards, yes,
You packed food and water.
yes,
You took pillows and blankets.
yes.
You took multiple changes of clothing for you, correct?
I just grabbed clothes, yes,
Multiple changes, correct? Multiple shirts, multiple sweatshirts.
sure, yes,
You grabbed multiple changes of clothing for Elowen.
yes,
You grabbed multiple changes of clothing for Valen.
yes.
You testified today that you took your work computer because that's a necessity.
That's why I'm guessing I grabbed it, yeah.
Because you were running, right?
I needed to get out of the area immediately, yes.
because you had murdered Caitlin?
No, absolutely not. I guess I should clarify, yes, I had shot her, but at no point did I ever think that it was murder. No.
But you ran.
I got out of the area and made sure that my
Consciousness
kids were safe, not just physically, but mentally.
Well, after you shot Caitlin, there was no danger in the house, right? Just her body on the couch.
Yes. But again, I didn't know if people were coming or what was going on.
You didn't know if the police were going to come, right?
I guess, yeah.
And so you turned off the lights, you deadbolted your apartment, and you fled, correct?
Well, again, I don't even really remember doing that, but if you say that happened, then sure, okay.
Well, you heard the testimony of the
Yes.
people who went into your house, correct?
I did.
That
So,
there was a deadbolt, that they had to ram your door open.
well, again, I don't even know if I had the key to the actual doorknob, but the deadbolt was just how you locked that door.
Okay, but it was
So-
very important to make sure that it was locked in those moments that you left, correct?
No, I guess it was just something that I did.
So
Hey,
you-
you leave the house, you shut the lights off, and you lock the door.
So you fled. You drove south, correct?
I like southwest, yes.
And after you called your parents, you went dark, correct?
Yes,
And you did that so you wouldn't be found, correct?
because I wanted to spend more time with my kids and make sure that they were mentally okay.
And you knew the police were going to look for you because there was a dead body in your apartment, correct?
I did, yes.
Now, that phone call with your parents, your testimony today is that all you did was say, we're safe, I killed Caitlin, and that was it, correct?
I mean, there was a little bit more, but yes, essentially, yes.
Well, there was a lot more, right? Because it was a 13-minute phone call, correct?
I mean, okay.
I mean, you saw the records. You have those.
Yes,
You spoke to your mom for 13 minutes before you turned off your phone and went dark, correct?
okay, yes.
Even after you decided to turn yourself in, you didn't call the police and say, hey, I'm going to come turn myself in, correct?
At no point did I call the police, no.
And you never actually went to the police, correct?
No,
You drove past police barracks, correct?
yes,
And in your statement to police, you said it was because you were going to have breakfast with your girls, right? But you'd already had breakfast with them in New York, according to
Well,
your testimony today, correct?
brunch, because the time, I don't remember exactly what time that was, but like 10:30 or 11, but
You wanted to
Yes.
delay being with the police or turning yourself in for as long as you could, correct?
not as long as I could, but it's probably fair to say that yes, I was delaying it.
Now, Mr. Duren, before you left your apartment after you'd shot Caitlin, did you check to see if she was still alive?
I knew she was not, but no,
So you didn't
I
check?
never specifically went up to her body. No,
So while you were packing this house
Whoa,
over the
whoa.
course of minutes to load your car, you never checked to see if just maybe there was a chance she was alive?
I knew that she was not.
I never
You
went
never
up to her
called
body.
911 just to be sure? To get an ambulance to
Did he
protect
shoot
the
from a
mother of your
distance?
children, Caitlin, who you were so devastated about having shot, correct?
Correct.
Did he shoot from a distance?
Her
And did
being dead
Elwyn
is what you
run?
wanted when you pulled the trigger, correct?
Absolutely not.
Well, you're a Marine. You're trained in using a gun, correct?
Yes.
You know that the only reason to point a gun at somebody is to kill them, correct?
Yes.
So when you fired, that's what you wanted.
No. All I was thinking of was Elwyn. My focus was Elwyn. My entire mindset was save Elwyn.
Well-
This was not about Caitlin.
Mr. Duren, you were saving Ayden from being squeezed too tight, correct? from being pulled away from you, correct?
From being hurt, yes.
And you've indicated here that it was your Marine training that kicked in, correct?
It was, yes.
And your Marine training tells you that when you point a gun at somebody, it's to kill, correct?
Yes.
And so the end result that you knew would happen when you pointed that gun at Caitlin was that you were going to kill her, correct?
In a very, very basic sense, I guess so, yes.
You didn't shoot to wound Caitlin, did you?
No.
You didn't shoot her in the arm?
No.
You didn't shoot her in the leg?
No.
You shot her in the head because that would kill her, correct?
Sure, yes.
I mean, Mr. Duren, your defense here today that you want to be justified is that you acted purposefully with deadly force to kill her because she was hurting Elowen. That's your defense, right?
Yes.
But yet you're still hesitating as to whether that's what you wanted.
Because I never wanted Caitlin dead at any point.
Except as a Marine, you knew the moment you pulled your gun and aimed it at her that that's what your goal would be, correct?
The goal was to eliminate a threat to my child.
The goal was to eliminate the child's mother, correct?
The goal was to eliminate a threat that was holding my child hostage and hurting her in front of me.
And that person was your child's mother who had just as many rights to hold that child as you did, correct?
Tragically, yes.
The ME said there was no stippling. There was no signs of a close range shot.
Mr. Duren, in your testimony, well, again, your defense is that you shot Caitlin and that it was justified, correct?
Yes.
We heard the detailed statement. You sat here with us and listened of your 2-hour interview with officers, right?
Yes.
And you've also testified here today.
Yes.
At no time during that statement you gave to officers, right after this incident happened, did you tell the police that you had to kill Caitlin to protect Elowen, did you?
I didn't specifically say that, but with me describing the event, I described that.
You described that Caitlin wouldn't let go of Elowen, correct?
Yes.
You described that she was holding Elowen in a bear hug, correct?
Yes.
You told officers that her not letting go was the tick that caused you to shoot her.
No, the tick was her screaming. Or I think in the interview I said her yelling.
Well, isn't it fair to say that during the interview you actually never said that Elowen yelled or shrieks, correct?
I did say that. I said, I think specifically I said what is big in my head is Elowen yelling.
Well, that was after the
Or screaming or yelling.
That was after you fired.
No, that was just before.
Court's indulgence.
Yes.
Brett Bottoms, I did get your pickle-flavored lemonade juice packets. I'll tell you this, they're not delicious, but they're not terrible. I've had one before. But, looks like something that should taste awful. It's not Mountain Dew. It's really good. I wonder what what she's looking for. Probably the version of the story where he says what his daughter did. I'm thinking more and more that he, as an expert marksman, was convinced that he could shoot and kill his wife, as his wife was holding the daughter in front of him, saying, "You can't shoot me. I've got, you'll hit Elwyn." And he's like, "Nope, I can do this." And he did it from a distance. That there would have been stippling even on the inside of the wound. The actual bullet hole, there would still be signs of stippling there, and the ME said there was none. It had to be a distance. It can't be point blank. It also goes better along with the fact that he was checking Elwyn to make sure she wasn't injured. If he knew, because she was out of the way, that she wasn't injured, why would he check her? If he's like right point blank, he can see that she was not in line of fire. There's no concern there. Instead, he's paranoid, checking her to make sure that she wasn't in the path of the bullet. I think he shot her from a distance.
I'm trying to narrow this down for you, Mr. Duren. I believe
Yeah, I'm not buying the BS about I always keep my gun next to me. He's a YouTuber.
I'm going to show you what's marked for identification purposes.
If the gun's next to him as a YouTuber, his account will be banned. You can't even have a gun on.
Mr. Duren, you're welcome to look through this, but most of the actual incident starts on about page 58. Moving forward, once you go ahead and look through that transcript and tell me or tell us, or look up when you find where you told the police that Elwyn screamed before you shot Caitlin.
YouTube does not allow firearms to be displayed on a live stream very easily. That's why you'll see Ian play a video that he's pre-recorded of firearms if he's showing some. It's a terms of service thing. Yeah, your uncle.
Are you sure this is the right area? Is this where it is?
You're welcome to look through the entire transcript, sir, if you want to find it.
I don't like this line of questioning.
I'm sure my attorneys know.
But they're not on the stand. It's your testimony.
I just don't know if you're expecting me to go through the entire thing right now to find it.
Well, Mr. Duren, you're saying that you told the police that, correct?
Yes.
On page 59 of the transcript, actually it's really
Just
the
like,
bottom of page 59.
can I phone a friend?
You describe the shooting, correct? You say, I grab it, chamber it, grab Elwyn, pull her back, and shot, correct?
Yes.
And then you say it was very immediate. Obviously, what was big in my head is Elwyn went yelling. She definitely heard it. And you're describing her reaction after the gunshot, correct?
No. That's what I'm talking about.
Oh, you're saying...
Obviously, what is big in my head is Elwyn yelling.
So, let's just follow through. Page 59 of the transcript. It reads, after a couple of times of me trying to grab Elwyn, and her not letting go, it was very fast, very deliberate.
Your Honor.
Holly Mack, woot woot, 27 months, OG. Holly Mack, thank you very much. It would not be the same without you. I love your Halloween profile pic as well. Looks great. Let's see, we're up to 60 now, right? Or did I already add that one? Did I add that one twice? Keep me honest if I didn't. Yeah, I'm not buying the story at all. And you've got to give the stippling. The stippling is a scientific fact, okay? If this is not like stippling sometimes occurs and sometimes doesn't. Stippling always occurs when a shot happens at very close range. It is possible that hair and clothing can mask it, but I think you're still going to see some residue powder because the powder follows behind the bullet. I think you're going to see some of that in the wound itself. And there was none that was reported, which would put him, more than 3 feet, more than 4 feet, possibly more than 6 feet, depends on who you talk to about the range of stippling, away from the victim. There was no stippling reported. The ME was asked, but he also did acknowledge that hair can mask that. But then he said that there was none observed in the wound. AZDCS Oversight Group member for 24 months. OG. 2-year mark. Congratulations. That pink courthouse looks great on you. Clear he aimed, definitely. And the whole, when you shoot as much as I do, you always know where your gun's aiming.
That's what the transcript is indicating, sir?
That it was indicating what?
Britt Bottoms, 21 months on the jury. 59. OG. Thank you, Britt Bottoms, and thanks for the pickle juice as well.
So you're talking to the police in your statement about shooting Caitlin, correct?
Yes.
You describe the shooting of Caitlin.
Yes.
And then you say, after you shot, Elowen went to yelling.
No. I'm saying, it was finger snap, very immediate, as in my reaction to her being hurt was very immediate. Obviously, and quote, obviously what was big in my head is Elowen yelling.
Mm-hmm. And that follows with, she was complaining about the loud noise in her ears, correct?
And then there was pauses about how I really hope, I don't think she saw anything.
Mm-hmm. So describing her reaction after the shot was fired, correct? You were hoping she didn't see anything?
Later, yes.
Mm-hmm. At no time during the interview did you tell the police that you had killed Caitlin because she was going to be kidnapping Elowen, correct?
I had suspicions, but I didn't know of any specific plan, no.
And you didn't tell the police about those suspicions that she was going to kidnap Elowen, correct?
The point of me talking about the previous situation with Valen in Nevada, that was part of that, me explaining that.
At no time did you tell the police that at the moment right before you shot Caitlin, that Elowen was being hurt by Caitlin, correct?
I did.
You told the police that Caitlin had Elowen in a bear hug, correct?
Yes.
That Elowen was crying, possibly because you were arguing, correct?
I said because she was being hurt and because of the arguing prior to.
You said because Caitlin was holding her tightly, correct?
I mean, sure. Yes.
In fact, you told police that Caitlin had never threatened to harm Elowen, correct?
She never directly threatened to hurt Elowen, no. But she was still doing it in front of my eyes.
Today, in fact, you've testified and used the word hostage, and you've testified to say that Caitlin was holding Elowen hostage in front of you in your home, correct?
And yes, because even though I was describing a hostage situation and Sergeant McLaughlin knew I was because he asked me about hostage type situations, I never actually said the word hostage. So I'm clarifying that yes, I'm specifically saying hostage, yes.
Right, even when Sergeant McLaughlin gave you that opportunity, you didn't say it, correct?
No, I did. I said yes.
Well, he only asked you if you had training in hostages, correct? That's the question you were answering.
If I had trained in hostage-type situations, and yes. Meaning, yes, this was what was going on, so, and yes, I've had training in this type of situations.
Now, today, Mr. Duren, you've testified that before you shot Caitlin, you begged her to let go of Elowen, correct?
Yes.
You never once told the police that during your interview with them, did you?
That would be weird if I didn't.
And you didn't.
You testified today that while you were trying to take Elowen from Caitlin, Caitlin braced her foot on the living room table and pulled back, correct?
Yes.
You never told the police that information during your interview, did you?
This is the whole point of me being here right now, is to be as clear and concise as possible, to add details so that there is no more misinterpretations of what I said.
Well, Mr. Duren, you wanted to talk to the police, correct?
I did, yes.
You knew that you were talking to them about the murder of Caitlin Nafziger, correct?
At no point did I ever think that this was a murder.
You knew it was important when you talked to the police to tell them everything, correct?
Well, even he said that there was a million things that I would probably think of to say.
And those million things are actually the details now of this offense, correct?
I take my oath right now very, very seriously, and I'm telling the truth.
You've testified today that on the day that you shot her, Caitlin was demanding that you pay her more money. You said an unheard of amount, correct?
A substantial amount, yes.
You didn't tell the police that information either, did you?
Did I not? I mean, I was certainly talking about her threatening. I guess I don't directly recall if I said if it was specifically about money or not.
When we say threatening, you mean her threat to call the police and take the kids, correct?
Yes.
Today you've testified that on the day that you shot her, Caitlin told you that you'd never see your children again, correct?
Yes.
You never told the police that during your interview with them, did you?
I guess I do not recall.
He's gone to do not recall. Let's see if he keeps running there.
In fact, you told the police about that money situation that Caitlin, on the day before you shot her, said that she told you you needed, and I don't know how to phrase this, so give me 1 second, that Caitlin told you that you needed to sell your car to give her the money from that sale, correct?
Oh, that, are you talking that?
That day.
That day?
Yes.
Yes, that, yes, if I couldn't get her that money, that then I needed to sell my car and give her the money from the car.
You didn't tell the police that information either, did you?
Again, the purpose of me being here is to be as clear and concise and give every detail that I can possibly give so that there cannot be any more misinterpretations.
Well, one moment, Your Honor.
Yes.
I don't think it's going to take 2 hours to analyze this guy. He's keeping his eyes on the threat. just noticed the vest. How did I not notice the vest before? It's got the whole three-piece going.
Okay.
No further questions. They're done. Sit them down. Oh, they're going to go up. They're done.
So the state just tried to claim that you didn't tell the police that she was threatening to take the kids away, right?
Yes,
they just
yes.
asked you, and you just said, "Did I not?" Question mark.
Yes.
It would refresh your recollection if I showed you the transcript of all the times you told the kids that, right?
Yes, it would.
All right. Judge, may I approach with what's been marked for ideas? With what's been marked for ideas states 32.
Yes.
Page 57.
Do you want me to say it?
Lines 1 and 2, does that refresh your recollection about whether or not you told the police that she was threatening to take the kids away?
Yes.
Okay. What did you?
Your Honor, if I can just object that refreshing recollection, Your Honor, the defendant did not indicate he did not recall.
He said, "But didn't I? Did I not?" Was his answer to your question.
Counsel approach.
Sure.
61. I'm going to fight this out at sidebar. Does he still have that? Semantics. Did I not? He waxed eloquent there. Improper impeachment is the argument. I think defense is going to win this one. He's reading. They probably should take that from him again. But he's reading his... He's reading what he said to them. Still in front of him. I think the judge will allow it. I think you're right. He thinks it's very important. This trial has too many sidebars. How many is too many? 61? 61 sidebars in 5 days? He refuses to comment on what someone said he said on paper. Now he's agreeing to it. Well, this is a transcript. The other one was a report. So a little bit different, but yeah. 60 would have been okay, but 60 is over the limit. Right. 12 a day is the max. It's the max. And we've already at like 12.01.
Did you tell the police that she threatened to take the kids away that night?
Yes.
Do you know how many times you told the police that?
I don't know how many times, no.
Would it refresh your recollection if I showed you the transcript?
Yes, it would.
Oh, you already have it.
$57? Take a look at page 58. Take a look at page 81.
He does think he's pretty smart. It's not that he told the police this, it's how he told them. The thinking, the looking up, and the long pauses, and then let's see, okay, what happened next? All right, yeah, she told me she was gonna. She kept
See
saying
if it's
she was
there
gonna take
multiple
the
times
kids
on
away.
page 81.
Yes.
Check page 83.
Your Honor, I just ask if the defendant is answering the question or if counsel is counting for him.
Overruled.
The state got caught getting greedy in their questioning. And
I'm sorry, did you say 83?
I did say 83.
see it.
And so at least, we can't be sure, it's a long transcript. At least how many times did you tell the police?
At least 5 times.
At least 5 times? And did the police indicate to you that they thought that that was what you had said?
Yes.
I'll take that transcript back from you. You best to put it back in order if you can.
Yeah.
It's a collator extraordinaire. Just hand it all to her. It's all right. There we go. Is that all you got? Defense?
You testified earlier that when this was happening, when you were seeing your child being held hostage in front of you, you weren't angry. Were you afraid?
Absolutely.
What was different that night than past arguments about custody?
Yes, I was able to, for the most part, brush off past arguments because, and the difference being now is because my child wasn't being held hostage in front of me and used as leverage.
And there was some back and
Or
forth
shield
about
in
the
this
fact that you
case.
told the police that Elwyn was yelling.
Yes.
When you told the police that Elwyn was yelling, what were you talking about? When was this yelling happening?
I'm specifically talking about right before the third attempt when I tried to grab Ellen for the third time and she pulled back, bear hugging, squeezing Elwyn and twisting and yanking her backwards. That yelling.
And the state interrupted you once or twice when you wanted to clarify why this happened. But I think you said ultimately the goal was to eliminate a threat who was holding my child hostage in front of me and hurting her. Is that accurate?
Yes, yes it is.
That's all I have right now.
Recross.
Very briefly, Mr. Duren, the last question the state asked you, the one that council has just gone in and had you count inside of the transcript, let me ask you again. You testified today that Caitlin told you before you shot her that you would never see your children again. Is that your testimony today?
Yes.
And that is something you never told the police, correct?
That specific sentence? Maybe not.
It's not what was on page 57 or page 58, correct? That you just looked at with council.
Okay.
It's not on page 81 or 83, correct?
Okay.
Is that a yes, sir?
Yes.
Because you never told the police that Caitlin made such a threat that day, correct?
If you are insinuating that I'm lying right now, that is not true. I am here clarifying, being as clear and concise as I possibly can be.
No other questions?
Okay. Can Mr. Duren step down?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
And defense. Do you have any other witnesses? Takes his water with him. It's the good stuff. Who do we call? Do we rest? Or do we call your 5-year-old daughter to the stand. 18 sidebars for one witness. It might be arrest here. I think they're set up to rest. It's a quick huddle. It's almost lunchtime. Perhaps the judge will they'll approach and go to lunch and then make the announcement after. You're going to prison. You're going to prison.
Your Honor, the defense rests.
Boom, they arrested. It's done. Rebuttal after lunch.
Okay, counsel approach, please.
Judge calls another sidebar, takes us up to 62 because we like even numbers. And we will be getting to closings hopefully this afternoon, I think. The JOA was done after the state rested, and it was denied. It was quite lengthy. One of the more lengthy JOAs, both on the ask, the response, and the decision. I guess on all three of those, it was a lengthy JOA. Does he have any family or supporters there? Well, his parents were there because they were subpoenaed at one point. I'm not sure if they're still there. We may get verdict music today. Yes. Do we need rebuttal? I think the state has a couple people they had in reserve for rebuttal. Not sure if they're going to call them. Verdict will be on Wednesday. Why? Because that's our podcast day? He's facing murder 2 plus a handful of others. But murder 2 is the big one. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I love the little judge. We would do a Rule 29. Okay, denied. Those are the days. Especially on a case like this. Let's see. Salty Spoon, I'm voting guilty on this one, but when the lawyers talked to the jury after the verdict, someone needs to tell this prosecutor she got lucky. This was an easy case. She's been horrible. What particularly did you not like about her style, Salty Spoon? I didn't find her. We've had cases with other prosecutors that were much more frustrating for me. She didn't rank very high on the frustration chart. I was probably a yellow with her. Can we do that? I was a yellow. All right. He is in jail. Yes, he's in custody. So his father gifted that weapon to him because it had history. Surely Dad wouldn't want it back. Probably not. Well, I don't know. I think the state will keep it, destroy it or something. But it's concerning to me. You would think the dad would know the conditions of his release, especially with his mental health. And as a retired police officer, understand the implications that would have on whether or not you should gift somebody a firearm. But I'm not sure if everything had come to light at the time that the firearm was gifted or not. All right. Yes, podcast day is a day early. We're going to be on Wednesday this week, and then on Friday we have Trick or Treat live streaming. Prosecutor could have put a much stronger case given all the lies, also leaving an image of the poor child being hugged as mom unalived. Yeah. What time will the Friday stream start? Probably, I'm thinking 5:30 or 6. It's probably going to start when it's still light. The main issue was today. She seemed completely unprepared for the one witness that was basically guaranteed to have a cross, the defendant. Yeah, I think she struggled when she tried to add things on the fly, like, well, what about this? And then on the when he denied something that she asked, she struggled finding the location. Like, she needed a table of contents for all the evidence so she could find it better, and she wasn't able to do that. So maybe that was not knowing the evidence good enough. Maybe there's just too much evidence. But going to go to lunch, or is the state going to rest as well?
Okay, defense is rested. Anything further from the state relative to rebuttal?
No, Your Honor, the state has no further witnesses and rests.
The state
Okay,
rests.
all right,
No
thank you.
rebuttal.
Members of the jury, the evidence is now closed. At this time, there are several things that I have to attend to with the attorneys, as is standard in a matter such as this. So what we are going to do is we are going to break for the day.
What?
Okay, we are going to break for the day. You'll be dismissed for purposes of today and to return at 9 o'clock tomorrow. At 9 o'clock promptly, we will start closing arguments by both the defense and by the state. And I will instruct you tomorrow, and you will have time tomorrow to begin your deliberations. So again, tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock, you'll hear closing arguments, you'll hear my instructions, and then you will receive the case tomorrow. So I'm going to stop for the day here. Again, please do not discuss the case with yourself. Do not discuss the case with anybody else. Please avoid any media coverage relative to the matter. Please conduct no research whatsoever about any matter that you've heard in the courtroom. Please do not transmit anything by way of your own social media. You've been very faithful to my instructions so far, and I have no doubt that you will between now and tomorrow. So again, we'll reconvene at 9 o'clock tomorrow. Go directly to closing arguments, and you will have the case tomorrow. Okay? Thank you. Dismissed for the day.
So there's some issues the judge has to sort out tonight, and some of them are key to this case. I think one of them is the whole idea of, can a custodial parent kidnap their own children? He said this is an issue he has to go over. So we'll look at that. I think we've also got jury instructions that need to be reviewed. Let's see if we're probably going to do them after lunch. I'm just looking. Let's see what the judge says on the schedule here.
Court and be in recess until 1 o'clock. Thank you.
All right, 1 o'clock. We get lunch. It is a full hour. I'm expecting some spicy argument here, at least a little bit. We'll see what happens here. This is not acceptable, Judge. Who is the one not guilty? Somebody clicked not guilty. 2 people clicked not guilty. Possibly as many as 3 by the math. Is he being charged with first degree? No, he's being charged with second, which is much easier to prove because it doesn't have the premeditation aspect to it, as far as the careful planning, forethought. But I think they could have gone for it. I think with a little change in a tweak to how the state argued this one and laid out their theory of the events, I think they could have gone for one and probably got it. If they air them, we will share them. How about that? He absconded with the older child. I get to go have lunch, and Mrs. Ari has some cookies. Let me be a little brutally honest. Ready? Just 1 second here. This morning I woke up and I had like this terrible dream. And I woke up and I'm like, in my dream I was like a certain age and not happy with my health, like where I was at health-wise. And I woke up and I was like, I was sleeping. But it was reality. Like the facts of the dream were the same. And so I woke up, I'm like, that's it. I'm changing something effective today. So I got up at 5:30 and started exercising. And so I can't feel my shoulders. But I hate when I have those dreams. Eat more salads. That's what I'm going to do. We've got salads in the fridge ready to go. Hold me to this one. I've got to make a few changes because I want to do this for a long time. Lunch isn't cookies. That's the second part. I'm holding myself to one cookie. One cookie. Had oatmeal for breakfast. I think that's good. Where are the children now? The parents have them. Or the parents, like his parents and her parents have them shared. Chef salad sounds delicious. That's what dreams are made for. Let me create the starting thing. We anticipate having a little bit of argument this afternoon between the two parties. We're going to be on day 5, part 2. I thought for sure we would have closings today. Man, that's just... We'll start at 12:55. I think it was 5 minutes before the judge comes back. And it's all set up. Portal set up. We're going to jump over. I'm going to go have a salad, maybe go for a quick bike ride on lunch to the post office or something. Making the portal right now. All right, it's set up. There we go. Exercise is the most important. Keep at it. I will. Tomorrow's going to hurt, though. I'm going to be sore in my lower back. Because I was doing like, what do they call it? Like Taibo? Like punching, kicking, squats, popping up, down, all. That was me. I was doing the boxing thing. So that was it. Will we see these arguments this afternoon, or will we jump around? Barb, no arguments this afternoon. We're going to stick with court as long as they provide content here. So if they're going to go over jury instructions, if they're going to go over the charge, if they're going to go over, they won't go over the charge. If they're going to go over any outstanding legal arguments that need to be settled before this can go to the jury, we're going to be here for that. So. Going healthy right before Halloween is a bold strategy. I'm giving away all 50 pounds of candy. My goal is to all gone. And I've actually been pretty good. I've stopped sort of having a sugar tooth as much as I used to. I have days of weakness, but like with the Smarties, that was a bad day. But I'm better than I was before on that. So, all right, we should do midday calisthenics. I'm not ready to do that on camera. I can't do that. So. We're going to go to lunch. You guys grab some lunch. Come back. We're going to catch what happens here in the courtroom of New Hampshire versus Duren. Dustin Duren having taken the stand in his own defense. I don't think it was the right idea. I think it left more questions in the minds of the jury in some regards and the wrong answers in others, at least as far as he's concerned. So we will come back and see where the court takes us this afternoon, what the lawyers have to fight out. I do not know how the RA is not a diabetic. I don't know. Lucky, I guess. Did you close the poll? Oh, let me close the poll. We have to do that before we quit. Ending the poll right now. Question, is Dustin Duren guilty of murder too? Yes, 97%. No, 3%. 560 votes in. 459, sorry. So, if we are any indication, this jury might have a very easy task ahead of them. All right, lunch is on the way. Tonight when you go home, please hug the people you love, smile at someone, make their day just a little bit better. Please stay safe till we go live again at 12:55, about 50 minutes from right now. Portal Buddies, unite. We'll see you guys after.